Ecamm just won't let me be great. But I'm going to pick up where I left off. If you guys didn't hear what I said before, you can check out the other video. All right. So, from what I was saying, and somebody commented, let me see if I can find her comment right here. Or their comment. I'm sorry, I have to stop doing that. Their comments. Someone commented about Ashley. And basically, what I was saying was Ashley, and we're talking about Love is Blind, y'all. So, season 7. And I have not seen the weddings yet. So, please don't ruin it for me. Although, as I said in the last live, nobody should be getting married. And that is just my expert opinion. But from the last live, somebody was saying that Ashley is definitely supporting Tyler. And she might be, right? Because she had a post that said, don't talk about my castmate like that. And I love the loyalty, I do. But when she's thinking she's supporting, as I started to say, usually the support might look like enabling. And we do that a lot in life with people that we love. We look at them and we think, okay, we're supporting them, but all in all, we're enabling bad behavior. I'm not a part of the cast. I am not a part of the crew, so I have no idea what goes on behind the scenes. I don't know what Tyler told her. I don't know what Daeshon. Hold on, I'm gonna try to put y'all down. All right, that's better. I don't know if Daeshon said anything to her, which I don't think so, because when Jessie spoke to Daeshon, she said she has not spoken to Tyler. I don't think she's talking to Bri. I don't think she's talking to any of them or spoken to any of them. But what I do know is these people are hurt. Daeshon's daughter is hurt. All these people are hurt. And it just takes... monster is a strong word, but monster-like behavior to know that these people are going to get caught up in the aftermath of you going on the show and lying. So I was talking to my friend, and I was saying, like, what if Ashley knew all of this and she's still going on because of maybe NDAs or contracts? Because you never really know what goes on behind the scenes. And she thought that, it could be possible, but Ashley seems like a person that wouldn't be doing that. So I don't know. But let me now go back to the breakdown, okay? So, big shock here, right? When we're talking about Bri and Tyler, knowing that Bri and Tyler's conception of the twins were natural, shock. Because that now knocks out the park of Tyler even being a sperm donor. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't lie. Hi there. Be upfront. You tell the people that if you have had sex with your best friend, you've had sex with your best friend. Do not placate the situation. Do not minimize the situation, because these are people's lives. Although they do sign up to be on the show and it's a very public show, these are still people's lives, which is why I'm wondering, did she know? Did Ashley know that this was all going down? I think story time with Riki, she did say that in the reunion they're not going to give us anything. So she did also expose that Tyler's going to stand 10 toes down on he's a sperm donor and maybe he helped out the kids a little bit. But from those photos, we only have speculation. And from those, what we speculate is you were a very involved father. And but then also from Daeshon's testimony, Daeshon is saying that you and Bri fought very hard to get her out of these children's lives. Okay. And so something that they corrected here too. Daeshon spoke about in the interview that Daeshon did not abandon any of her kids or any of those kids, because legally she was the mom. She said that she lost parental rights over her first child because Bri and Tyler lied in court and pushed her out. So if y'all remember Bri's first... Thank you. If you guys remember Bri's first video that she has on Instagram, she says that Daeshon abandoned that. She got abandoned. She said all these things, but really and truly, they pushed Daeshon out. They pushed Daeshon out so much so that Daeshon could not remain stable mentally. And it's just so messy. Messy, 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 messy. I feel like I am now watching reality TV, trash reality TV at that. And I really loved Love is Blind, right? So first season a show airs. Hi. First season a show airs. You obviously people are trying to pilot the show, make sure that there's viewers, making sure that the audience really loves the content, and we saw that, right? Unfortunately, the only couple I remember is Lauren and Cameron. I remember the dinners, I remember everything because I was really rooting for them. Second season, all right. I think second season was with Ayana, and that was like the very first time Ayana and why can I not remember this man's name? Ayana and her fiance or now ex-husband, because they got married and now they're divorced. They had their whole thing, and that's when we got a little bit more drama. Third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh season, drama just keeps getting worse and worse and worse, and I don't think anyone in their right mind should ever go on Love is Blind to think that you're going to truly find an authentic person. God willing. I mean, if you pray about it and God says, go forth, right? But if you're just like, oh, I really want to find love, Love is Blind is not it. These reality TV shows are not it because there's so much that goes behind the scenes. There's only so much you can tell about a person's life, and in real life too, right? A person can present one way and then in another way in real life they're a total opposite. Like they're not the same person. But when you are on television, it's more publicized. So I can't actually imagine what any of the castmates are going through when they're now watching a year later all of this unfold and they're hearing these things come out the woodwork. I'm wondering if Ashley, because we're just focused on Ashley right now, if Ashley is just now finding out about all of this or if she knew, because it would make a lot more sense if she knew and she's defending him, or she's just in a healed place, which would be great. So that's that. I thought this interview, make sure you guys, I try to put it in the description box. This is my first time like really going live via my phone. I usually do it on Ecamm, but again, they're not trying to let me be great. Make sure you go and watch the full interview. Yeah, I think I'm disgusted, and I very rarely say that, but I'm really disgusted. And I thought I couldn't get any more disgusted than with Leo, but I'm very disgusted by Tyler's behavior, by the lies. Did somebody pay him to say these things, even if he was paid to say these things? Why? Would it make for great TV? It's just I don't know. All right, so now let's move on to Taylor and Garrett. Not much to say here. I just don't think they're ready for marriage. And I think I'm warranted to say this just by the clips. Now, again, I'm not there. I don't know what happens behind the scene, but just by the clips, and of course the clips have to tell a story because this is TV, but by the clips, I don't think Taylor and Garrett should get married. I don't. I think Garrett was very slick with his remark about his ex and then switching up like that. I think there's also something deeper there. Why did you feel the need to again placate that situation, and then when you lost sight of where you were, decided to tell the truth? You didn't think your fiance was going to react. You didn't think, and then of course he did take accountability after, but when I see little things like that so early on into the relationship, I'm just like, maybe you guys should hold off on marriage. But this is their life, and so they can do whatever they like, right? Not much there. I do think they would benefit from counseling if they do say I do, and I guess I'll find out in a couple hours because I'm gonna go watch. Not very enthused. I was enthused for the reunion, not even enthused for that really, y'all. But I'm gonna go watch and see if they say I do. And you know what? All of them probably, all three couples probably did say I do. That's Rams, Marissa, Taylor, Garrett, and Tyler and Ashley. They probably all did say I do, right? Because at this point, I can't even tell whose intentions are pure, but it is what it is. I want to go to Hannah and Nick. I really wanted to love Hannah. After the turmoil that she went through with Leo, I wanted to love Hannah. But then as I was watching her in the pods, and then as I'm watching her outside of the pods, as I'm watching her interact with her family, as I'm watching her interact with others, she's very transparent, which is great, but then sometimes too transparent. She's very insecure sometimes, and who doesn't have insecurities? But I think her insecurities are so deeply rooted that Nick would not be able to really survive in the relationship, which is why I think it's great that They decided not to even try on dresses. I think it's weird that they decided not to try on tuxedos. I think it's amazing that they had the understanding of this is not going to work. And I wish some of the couples, or a lot more of the couples, did that. Where are they now? Not sure. I guess I'll find out in 2 weeks. But she had so many disparaging remarks towards Nick. But I'm not surprised because subtly she has disparaging remarks about herself. And I don't know if you guys notice it, but I don't know if she is as confident as she lets on. Right. I know now, I think she lost a lot of weight. She looks great. I think she looked great back then before. I just don't know where the meanness comes from her. I don't know where the insecurity comes from. I know she was really big during the pandemic, which she led on to during the pods, but a lot of people got, and I'm not justifying, but a lot of people went through that during the pandemic because you were just home. All you were doing were eating. Yeah, numb food. I watch TV. Like, that's all you were doing. And so I get it. But for her to be the way she was towards Nick, I just felt very uncomfortable watching any scene with him. And I felt very disturbed watching when her friends were like dogging him out. And Nick was such a gentleman. Like, Nick was just like, okay, I understand. And when they're like, well, these are not big things. Why are you making that big thing? I want people to understand that perception is everything. You might think walking a dog is not a big thing, but to someone else it might be, because you don't know where their mental space is, not health, but their space is, right? If he had no responsibilities before, you asking him to do these things is gonna feel big for him. In the grand scheme of life, is it big? No, but for him to have the mental fortitude to say, yes, I can do this, that's a different story. And so I just wish they offered him a little bit more grace. Obviously, it was just a clip. I'm sure they were there for like 2 hours. We only got to see maybe 5 to 7 minutes of it. But it just didn't look like her friends liked him either. Fine. But not too, I'm kind of over that. Like, I feel like Nick has enough supporters. I wish she had a little bit more supporters, but I understand why people don't support her, because her attitude is just, it's very mean girlish. I don't know who she is now, right? Because that was a year ago. So I guess I'll find out in 2 weeks, or not, just depending. But that's that couple. Last couple I want to talk about is Marissa and Rams. I just don't have words for them. they are very interesting. Maybe too interesting. I thought they looked alike as well. So when her mom was like, you guys kind of look alike, I was just like, I thought it was just me. I don't think they're gonna work. Rams has just unrealistic expectations from, I don't want to say women in general, but from Marissa. First of all, Marissa is driving. She is driving so much to be in that apartment with them and driving for work. I can understand the exhaustion. I understand people with vitamin deficiencies. Their mental health struggles a lot. I don't know. Marissa seems very chippery, but just because someone is chippery on the outside doesn't mean that they're chippery on the inside. It doesn't. Because we put on these facades all the time. We have to put on these hats. Sometimes we've told ourselves that, hey, I have to be the life of the party. Or you tell yourself, I have to be the person that is upkeeping the energy in the room. And I feel like that's who Marissa is. And I understand she might have her downtimes as well. But I don't think the two of them are going to match. That, and because of her military, like, I think Marissa got to a point where she's become accountable for what she's done in the military. Fine. But what I don't think is Rams appreciates that. And he also said it when they were having like dinner. They were sitting together and they're having dinner. And I can understand his perspective too, because he's an immigrant, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think he's an immigrant. And he just thinks that the states have done a terrible job, which I can understand both perspectives. But when they're so polar opposites, I don't see how it's going to work. Because if they decide to have children, what is she going to say to them? Rams did say that, he is going to be okay with her sharing her military experience. But what if they want to go to the military? He's going to stop them? I think their political views just, I just don't see it happening. Their communication, I think it's the worst. It's horrible. I think they dance around what they want to say. I think these two are, they have I think they're people pleasing in the sense of, I don't want to hurt your feelings, so I'm not going to be direct. So their indirectness hurts them. And you're seeing that every single episode. I mean, like, yeah, I don't know, like, and I'm just, can y'all just say what y'all mean so that we can resolve the issue? And you see it every single episode. I wish all of these couples the best. I do. And I mean, in their personal life, I will be praying over them because this is a lot. It's a lot. I once thought Love is Blind was like a great show, and it is. It makes for great drama, but finding real love, I don't see it happening. Thank God for Lauren and Cameron. Thank God for the Barretts. Who's some Kwame and his girl Chelsea. I mean, they in love, so it is what it is. I'm trying to remember other couples. There are other couples that float underneath the radar. Oh, like the one that's having the baby, or probably had the baby at this point. They float underneath the radar, as they should, right? Because you don't want the whole world in your business. Once you've done that show, you cut it off. You do whatever you got to do. But if you're looking for love, it's not it. Love is Blind is not it. We're gonna watch. We're gonna spectate, but it's just not it. If you are watching this live, or if you watched my last live and you think, you know what, I need some help myself, I have a workbook. It's called Unpacking Trauma for the Successful. In that workbook, I go through a series of exercises. Do I have the workbook here? Yep. I go through a series of exercises that help with you just unpacking trauma, and you reflecting, and you assessing all of your connections, because your connections matter, right? I tell you how to apply things. I want y'all to check it out in the description box, right? So it's not just another journal, but I'm teaching you, I'm educating you on science-based, evidence-based practices that we actually use with veterans who come back from war. Because we know that once you witness certain things and you do certain things, your body behaves differently. Your mind is now processing information a little bit differently. That's why you get triggered. So check the book out. It's on Amazon. I have a digital copy as well. I think I put it in the description box if you want to check out the digital copy. Do the inner work, y'all. I do the inner work on myself all the time. I see patients all the time, right? And so that vicarious trauma is real. And so I check in at least once or twice a week to make sure I'm not bringing some of that stuff into my home or into my relationships, because it's imperative that we have the awareness of when we're being triggered or when we're starting to be toxic. And I know people like to use that word a lot, but toxicity is real in the right sense. So get the book, tell a friend to tell a friend. The workbook is so informative, y'all, and it's interactive. So not only is it causing you to reflect on your life, there's also interactive pieces, and I don't mean just written. Like, I have interactive pieces where in the second edition you'll be able to scan, but in this edition you have to type in the URLs for the interactions. Get it. I am off to watch this sham of a sham of a wedding or weddings. And I will come back to y'all to let y'all know how I feel. Or maybe not, because I feel like I'm so over this hot mess of a show. But thanks for watching, and I will see y'all next time. Walk good. Keep the vibes high.